Now, in case you're just uninformed or you have absolutely no idea the legacy that this trilogy brought to the table in terms of gaming, I'm going to show you guys a glimpse. What the heck is up, you guys? Animated Heroes here, back with another action figure review. And as you can see today, we're going to be taking a look at the Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman from McFarlane Toys. And I gotta say that just based on what I'm seeing through the package, this figure looks phenomenal. I do have some issues with it. Of course, I'll discuss that a little bit later. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at that sexy packaging so we can dive right into the figure itself. Now, for the sexy packaging, it's literally the same thing that we got with the first wave of action figures from McFarlane. You got the window packaging where you can see the figure and most of the accessories. You got the DC Multiverse Batman right there at the bottom, ages 12 and up right there at the top. Of course, right here you have all the legal stuff, and then here's the barcode for you people who are looking for it. Right here on the side, it just says Batman and then McFarlane Toys at the bottom. On this side, it says Batman Arkham Asylum, so that lets you know that is the exact game that he comes from. It's not Arkham City. Then on the back, you got this badass image of him right there that showcases it is straight from the game. And the only issue I have is I don't like that slender head look, but I'll discuss that a bit later. Of course, you got the Joker right here in his card, the two Wonder Womans that just released, and then two from the previous wave. Then you have all of McFarlane Toys' social media, so go check them out if you haven't already. Now, straight out of the packaging, I gotta say that I'm really enjoying the figure. As of right now, I only have one issue with it, and it's just the fact that the eyes on the figure look very cartoony. You can tell that they tried to go with a realistic look, and it just didn't work. Let me try to focus that a little bit better. But the eyes just look super cartoony, and from the nose down, it has a more realistic look, and of course the suit does as well with all the texturing and things like that. Has a whole lot of black wash on there. They did exceptional on the suit. Everything looks good. Actually, even the head sculpt is accurate, because if you look at the game, an image from the game, the head sculpt looks the exact same. He's got the long horns, the slim head, everything looks fine. It's just that the eyes on this figure, it's not like a big thing to me, but I know some people probably won't like it. It'll probably look a little derpy in photos, but everything else is great. I really love how they did the belt. That looks dope. The gauntlets on the figure, the sculpt work is fine. And for all the people who like to complain about the first one, saying that, oh, he looks off, the body looks weird, on this one, that is 100% accurate. Maybe they could have buffed out the chest a little bit more, but other than that, this is 100% accurate to the game image. Maybe the waist could have been a little wider, but that's about it. The legs are thin, he's tall, and they did that right. Even the cape flows exactly like it should. So for the people who like to complain, everything about this figure, maybe in terms of just him being a little bit buffer, is accurate. So you can't say that anything looks off. Now, unless you've absolutely never seen a review from a McFarlane toy, then you already know this guy is tall. To the top of his head, he stands 7 inches. To the top of his horns, he stands right at 7.5. So for you people who want to wedge him in with 6-inch figures, obviously that is not going to work. This is not 1/12 scale at all. Now, as far as articulation goes, it's literally the same thing we've already seen before, just a different figure. He looks up about that much, which is actually better than I thought he would. Doesn't really look down at all. It just looks like he's still looking straight. Of course, you can tilt the head very well. You can get some expression out of him, but it looks weird with the stern face that he has, so it's almost pointless. But of course, he can do it. The arm goes up and out about that much, not very much hindered by the cape, unless you just really want to lift it up, and of course it will go up. He does have a butterfly joint. It's built in, but it is useless. He does have a bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, which is a gripe. I don't like that. Why do we have that? This figure could have definitely benefited and worked with a double jointed elbow, but whatever. His hands are on a, I think it's just a simple ball peg. I don't know, I don't want to pull it off right now, but as you guys can see, you can move it around pretty well, being hindered just by the gauntlet. He does have a diaphragm joint, helps to lean back a little bit, not so much forward. Forward, you get almost nothing out of it, but of course you can use it to turn him, but then these pieces don't line up, so it does kind of look weird. So you can also turn him at the waist. As you guys can see, he does have a waist swivel, so that works as well. And I think I just hit the camera, sorry about that. But he does kick forward that much. The underwear are a soft piece, so be careful with that. You don't want that to get warped. He kicks back about that much, which is still great. He can fully 100% do the split. So obviously you can get this guy in a real good kicking pose. He does not have any thigh swivel at all, but he does have double jointed knees that are tough, but they do work. He doesn't have any kind of swivel down here at the boot. His foot goes down about that much. Well, he does have a toe hinge, as you guys know. Does go up about that much, and this is one of those where it's kind of weird. You have to actually rotate the foot on the peg, and if it'll do it, I think I hit the camera again, but you can get ankle pivot, but it is a pain to do it. You really have to just play with the foot a lot. So articulation wise, once again, same thing we've already seen before, and nothing special about it, but he can pose. And for my cape people, obviously the cape is just a piece of hard plastic. The only way you can get it to blow in the wind is if you have a stand behind the figure, so that's not going to go anywhere. But for the people who want to know, there you go. Now, in terms of accessories, you do get quite an array of things, and I'm very satisfied with that. First off, you do get a typical Batarang. Every Batman should come with one of these. And I dig the fact that they didn't just sculpt this, color it once, and then leave it alone. There's actually a bit of black wash on there. It looks like it's kind of rusted, and so the fact that they did that does make me happy instead of it just being one simple color. And so you get that. Obviously you do get a folded Batarang for when he has it in his belt, and I have no idea how it fits, but this is Batman for you and looks just as good as the first one, so that's awesome. You do get what I believe is a smoke grenade. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And I really like that they went with 3 colors on this one. I'm not sure if it's accurate to the game or not, but I like how it goes from black to silver, and then of course you have the gold at the bottom. That just looks really dope to me, because most companies would have just left this as either 1 color, 2 at the most. So I'm satisfied with that. And this one next is probably the best accessory. I don't remember what it is. I think it's either his line launcher or his gel gun. It kind of looks like both. I'm not entirely sure. Hadn't played the game in a while, but it looks sick. The sculpt on it is dope. Like I said, they actually added extra paint to it, and so the detail on this thing is just phenomenal. Now, outside of that, you do get, of course, the card that I showed earlier, which proves he's accurate to the game for the people who like to complain. And then lastly, you do get just this typical DC stand where you can stand him up. Would have been great for him to come with fist hands. That is what we need. Please, McFarlane, start including fist hands. These are action figures. Everything else I cannot complain about, but we need interchangeable hands. Now, for some size comparisons, here he is standing next to the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Classic Outfit Superman, and of course the DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Knight Nightwing. And I do think him and Nightwing fit in scale well enough. Obviously he's taller than him, so it should work out. Next up, here he is standing next to the McFarlane Batman that everyone loves to hate. I guess it's the classic outfit, New 52, I don't know what you want to call it. And of course, the best figure that has been made by McFarlane Toys in the DC universe to date, the Batman Who Laughs. Just for the people who want to see it, here he is standing next to the DC Collectibles Arkham Origins Batman and the DC Collectibles Arkham Knight Batman. And he's taller than both, obviously, but you can wedge it if you did want to take a photo showing progression. For the people who didn't believe me about him not fitting in with 6-inch figures, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Animated Heroes and the Marvel Legends Gamerverse PS4 Spider-Man. Now, my final thoughts on this figure are that he's cool. He's not a must-have by any means whatsoever. That being said, if you are a fan of Batman like myself, like a major fan, one that feels like you have to have every Batman figure, obviously pick it up. It's a $19 figure, probably $24 or $26 if you find it at GameStop. I wouldn't recommend spending over $19 for it. I just don't think it's worth that much. He's cool. that's about it. There's nothing that wows me about the figure. There's nothing that I can say I just really, really like. Now, all that to say this, he obviously is going to be the most posable version of this Batman we'll probably ever get, because I don't know anyone else who's going to go back and redo figures from this game. So if you just want a posable Batman from the games, yeah, by all means, pick him up. But if you just want another Batman figure, one that's cool, one that's fun to pose, and that looks great, you can pass on this guy. He's not that great. But he doesn't have a whole lot of issues either, so I can't complain. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell icon. Therefore, you'll be notified every time I upload new content. And lastly, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. And one last thing that I completely forgot to say, I don't know how I forgot this. I actually picked this figure up from Toy Fiend on Instagram. He actually has a shop as well. I will leave the link in the description below if you're trying to get your hands on this figure. So shout out Toy Fiend. Everyone on Instagram, go check him out and check out his shop, which I will once again leave the link to in the description below. Peace.